Thank you, Tony, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to today's conference. I understand you've already had an interesting day. You had to be prized out of your workshop sessions to come back, and I hope that's nothing to do with the people who don't want to hear me speak, but just the fact you're having an interesting and a useful day. And it is a pleasure to see so many people here today taking part in celebrating and look at the next stage of Wales for Africa. People who are taking time out of offices, clinics, surgeries, a whole variety of different workplaces to come here today. And of course, part of what we're really here to be interested in with my particular time and my interest is how we improve Wales' health links across Africa. And so the events like today, where there's a learning opportunity, are valuable in doing that, but also about reminding ourselves of the particular commitment and enthusiasm that the Health Links part of the Wales for Africa programme has delivered within the service here in Wales. I regularly say that Health Links is just one of the first initiatives born out of the 10-year-old Wales for Africa programme. It isn't just about Wales saying we ought to do good things in other parts of the world, but actually there is a direct benefit for Wales as well, because our staff who take part in this program are universally motivated about their part in the programme and what they then do when they come back. And not just in the health part, but in my recent visit I met people who come from other parts of the public sector in Wales who had learning and development opportunities to undertake. So there was an exchange of skills and information to help different projects in other parts of the world, but absolutely we see a benefit in those staff returning our public service as well. Now, the Welsh NHS directives encourage international health linking, and they've enabled our staff to be involved in this important work. And I do regularly encourage health boards in Wales to support staff who are involved or thinking about getting involved in this particular work. And I have to say the benefits to Wales as a whole and to our NHS staff are substantial. I know that many people here will have their own personal stories of reasons why people started, even if it's an incidental or just a happy, fortunate circumstance, but certainly lots of stories about the impact of this work and what it's meant to people, not just as employees, but what it's meant to enrich people's lives, to motivate them and to really appreciate the good fortune we have in living in this part of the world. Of course, today's hosts, Hub Cymru Affrica, the Wales for Africa Health Links Network, and the International Health Coordination Centre act as a focal point for us on health-related international work across the NHS and Wales. We aim to build upon the excellence, expertise, passion and commitment that is shown by our Welsh health community. And Public Health Wales' new international health strategy, launched last month, will provide further focus for NHS Wales efforts over the next 10 years. And as we look ahead to that next decade, I want to take a moment to reflect and look back on the last decade, as this year has marked, or the last year has marked, the Wales for Africa programme's 10th anniversary. So to date, we have supported more than 80 health projects, saving and improving the lives of hundreds of thousands of people across Wales and sub-Saharan Africa. In 2015 alone, over 80,000 people in Wales and 260,000 people in Africa benefited from our small grants scheme. We supported more than 160 professional development placements, enabling more than 47,000 hours of expertise to be shared with African partners. And as part of our 10-year celebrations, I visited Mbali in Uganda to see firsthand some of those projects and the partnerships that we support. And Mbali has one of the greatest concentrations of Wales for Africa links, which provided a valuable opportunity for me to see several of them in that particular nation. I know there are other parts of Africa where there are links and opportunities that we regularly take up as well. So this is just one small part of what we're doing, and I was really struck physically because I was accompanied by John Townley, the very tall man over there, and he told me a number of things in the briefing pack, and of course they were true in the main. And he told me that Uganda is a beautiful country and the land is very fertile, but you'll be struck by a number of things as you go through. And it is indeed a beautiful country. But to see how parts of it are commercialised, to see how parts of it are built up, to see the levels of inequality and standards of public life that we would not tolerate or accept here, but also see that life for many is extremely hard. And I have to say, one of the things I was really struck about is the fact that life was extremely hard for women. Men appeared to do lots of sitting down, talking and drinking, and women appeared to do all of the work. As we went through Africa, as we went through Uganda, and then seeing the roads where people got around, walking, cycling if you were lucky, and all of the boulder drivers on the motorbikes, but actually the roads were awful. And a small amount of poor weather would mean that communities are completely cut off. And part of the thing that I was also struck about was on the visit we went and I saw not just health things, but I saw lots of the 10,000 trees project. Now, I think in this country, there are times they tree planting, well that's all tree hunting nonsense. What's that really going to do with the rest of the world? And does it really make a difference? But there's a real impact in terms of native timber and how it's used. So you're not trying to stop people from developing, but actually understanding how different forms of trees make a difference to use of water, and that's actually quite an important part. But it really, really interests me when you actually saw for yourself what happens when land is deforested and planted with crops in inappropriate parts of the country. And we visited anywhere nearby, they'd had a landslide that had covered over a school, with more loss of life than we suffered in Vaughan in this country. And we think about how that shaped collective memory and experience over a long period of time, right across South Wales. And there was a loss of life of more than 100 children in that incident. And when you see different parts of it, there's still a challenge there. Not just about recognising what happens in a country, but how do you help people to develop their own country and make their own choices? And at the same time, how do you deal with things that we would say, well, that looks wrong to me. And if you go and say, I'm telling you you're wrong, well, you don't have to be a genius to work out that's unlikely to provide the right sort of response. The way in which we approach our work as partners, I think, is hugely important. Because I don't think we'll be listened to in the same way otherwise. I think we'll be able to influence and help with choices that people make for themselves. And I've regularly said, I'm sure John was bored about hearing me give a version of the speech on several times we went around different projects. But this really is about how we empower people to make their own choices. How we help and equip people to make those choices. We can help the technology with expertise, but actually these are still choices for local people to make for themselves and their local communities. And it's why we work with those local authorities in that part of the world, rather than trying to circumvent them and go around them all the time. Now that's important too, because they need to understand, and they need to have from their own people the reality that actually you're responsible for some of these choices and these services. And in doing this, I was really struck by one of the comments John made again about, it wasn't that long ago, that the focus and attention of a politician was not something that people wanted to have. And the consequences that potentially went with that. I'll tell the story, it was amusing and it was embarrassing for John as well. So we were launching a honey hub, and again it was about empowering mostly community, mostly led by women who we were helping to have beehives and honey as a cash crop, because ridiculously Uganda imports honey. So there's a potential cash crop to it, as well as the broader parts of life. Now we went there, they did a play for us. It was very interesting. They had people who were playing us in our visit, and had someone who was wearing a baseball cap, nodding his head saying "sure, sure," tapping something to a phone, and that was John. And because John always, you might notice that John would need a baseball cap in a sunny country. But the person who played me was really interesting, because it was really interesting because they were accompanied by someone. They were accompanied by someone who had put together two central sticks from a large leaf, and they turned it into what looked like a gun. So the minister was accompanied by someone carrying a gun, and that was normal. And they thought, that's appropriate, because in that part of the world, that is what happens. Ministers don't turn up without an entourage. I don't think John would really include as an entourage. He's many things, but he's not multiple people all at once, and he doesn't carry a gun. And it was really interesting to see how people viewed it, and to think there's someone who really is a representative of government, who is prepared to listen sometimes, and to talk, and not to have great barriers between them. And so some of those cultural differences are part of what we need to understand in how we deliver our programs with genuine partners, and also the potential influence we can have about how we help people to achieve their own goals and objectives. And understanding is a very different part of the world. We should not try to impose all of our values into that part of the world, but to understand why it motivates us, and think the sort of things we saw from threadbare and stained foam mattresses in a health centre where women gave birth by torchlight. They gave birth by torchlight because the light had been broken for, I think, 3 years, and were accompanied by local politicians who were, in theory, responsible for the health centre, and they said they were annoyed about what they'd seen. And I had to bite my tongue and not say, but you're responsible for this. You could put in a new light bulb. and these women would not have to give birth by torchlight, and they didn't complain. We also saw a 6-bed delivery suite in a hospital, serving a population the size of Wales. Struggling to cope with women in labour, sometimes as many as 50 in a day, and an almost smouldering pile of clinical waste that weren't too keen to get close to. And it was there at the back of the hospital because the incinerator was broken. Now, many of you here will know that things like that are not uncommon, sadly. It's still a stark reality in many of the poorest regions of the world. But in amongst all of the challenge, there was also great hope. Because wherever we went, we saw evidence of people from Wales working alongside local people making a difference. And one of the real highlights, meeting 3 young lads from Cynhadledd College working with engineers for overseas development. And they're helping to build a new maternity unit in rural Cynhadledd, an electrician, a plumber and a carpenter working alongside Ugandan workmen. And it was interesting, one of the guys, they bought this person who was working on the site, didn't have any boots at the site, so they bought him some new boots. And he was delighted. The next day they came in, and he was in bare feet and said, "Where are your boots?" He says, "Keep them at home for best." And there's something here about the level of generosity from those lads. They would, and the experience that they had, they're a really good example of highly motivated young people who went out and gave up their time, didn't really know what they'd get, but you can guarantee they'll come back changed people, and a life experience they will come back with, helping to guide their view on the rest of the world. We also met a dozen or so volunteers from the Wrexham-based Teams for You, engaging the whole school in learning about sexual and reproductive health while testing everyone for HIV. And I attended a workshop, one of many, training for over 1,500 volunteers across the region in community health and hygiene promotion. And those volunteers play a vital role in helping to prevent and control outbreaks of diarrhoea and cholera. At the Mbali Regional Referral Hospital, also improved neonatal care as a result of training from Wales. That meant the neonatal mortality dropped from 52% to 17% in just 2 years. Now that's a significant drop. Still unacceptably high, but a huge difference made by the expertise of Welsh doctors giving their time to help improve systems. And I also saw the infamous motorcycle ambulance service. It's a service for an entire region devised by volunteers from the Welsh Ambulance Service, supported by POMT and the district councils of the Mbali region, with money from UKA and the Welsh Government. So real hope and opportunity that you can see being created there, a real need for that hope to be sustained in the way in which we work with them. Now I was able to see a number of those projects supported by people from Wales and Mbali, but I'm well aware that we supported more than 500 projects across 25 countries in sub-Saharan Africa, and they originated with support from every single part of Wales. There were also really difficult sites that will definitely stay with me. I visited on the outskirts of one of the slums and see the conditions that children were living in. This was an improvement in their lives as well. So I came back tremendously grateful for what I have now and what we have within this country. And there's a motivation there about why I want to sustain and continue this particular movement and how we leave even in the most difficult of times to maintain a commitment to this programme, and how we really do deliver the best possible value from the work of Wales for Africa. This is clearly a unique and highly valuable experience for staff and whole communities, both personally and professionally. And this really is part of our global contribution to citizenship and tackling poverty. Whilst government grants delivered through our key partners like the Hub Cymru Affrica are just one of the ways in which we support this work. In the last few years alone, those have supported Glenclwyd's Hospital Link with Hosanna in Ethiopia, including a programme of exchange visits for key professionals from each hospital, focused on particular areas of practice, and expertise such as tropical diseases, paediatrics and radiology. Belinda's Link, supporting cancer care in Sierra Leone, they're training 100 hospital staff in cancer care across 3 hospitals in Sierra Leone and establishing a centre for the treatment of Burkitt's lymphoma. And Power's Link to promote disability rights in Kenya, in particular cerebral palsy, which is the most common cause of childhood disability in Kenya. Now, these are just a few examples. I could read out a long list of different examples and the difference that it's made. If you talk to any particular staff group, nurses, midwives, therapists, you'll find somebody within that staff group who had got engaged, has been hugely motivated by the work and has made a real difference, which will be sustained with our partners in their home countries. So this is important to celebrate and recognise all of those successes, to think about what we all have done, what we have not done by accident, what we've chosen to do, and what we'll choose to do in the next decade of the Wales for Africa programme. And of course you all have a vital role to play for the choices that the First Minister makes in maintaining the government's commitment. And ministers like myself and others who choose to get involved and want to get involved in the programme, people in this room have made a choice to give time, commitment and expertise. to help not only improve health services in Wales and Sub-Saharan Africa, but in demonstrating our value and the way we see ourselves. It does talk about something like how we see ourselves as a country. To not just say we will tell others we are better, but to say we are a confident, generous and outward-looking country, and we want to be citizens of the world. And that means engaging with other parts of the world and seeing the partnership that exists in our common humanity, not just simply saying a speech, but in how we act and behave. And there are times you get a time to step back and say, why am I doing this? And this really is the reason why and the motivation. So I'm really proud to have been involved. I'm really proud to have taken part not just in the visit, but I do look forward to not just meeting more stakeholders as we go through however long the first minute try to have in government, but actually the opportunity to see more and support more of this work. Not just in financial terms, there will never be enough money, but the time and the commitment and the signal we give in the real value we place upon this programme. So I wish you every success, not just for today, not just to look back, but to think again of what we could still achieve and will still achieve, both here in Wales and with our partners in other parts of the world. Many thanks. Thank you for your time.